Now, how do you go from being boyfriend and girlfriend into getting married? I always tell young women in particular, before you get an engagement ring, or the minute you get an engagement ring, you better see the credit report. Someone's credit report tells you a lot about their financial habits. If they have a good credit rating, if they're responsible with paying their bills on time, and they don't have tax liens, that is a way for you to feel better about the situation. If they have a terrible credit report and they never pay their bills on time and they have tax liens, you're in trouble. So that is a document that you should request of your fiancé, and if they will not show their credit report, do not marry the person. If somebody is serious enough to get engaged, then many families hire a private investigator to do an in-depth background check on the other person. And this is a good idea because there could be all kinds of reasons that they're in love with your son or daughter. Hopefully they're there for the love, but they may be there for the money, and it's really important to make sure they're not somebody who has targeted others and tried to marry into a wealthy situation. I have experienced this with some of my families. I have seen young people be targeted in college, run off, elope, and then 2 weeks later get accused of abusing the partner, and a divorce is filed for a huge amount of money, often with the parents encouraging the young person to try to defraud their young husband or wife. So I suggest that you really take it seriously, and really, if you're a young person, tell your parents about the person you want to marry and let them do the background checking. Very important. It's also important to have a prenuptial agreement before the actual marriage. We could spend hours on this topic, but to suffice it to say, even if you are a religious person, today most young people are fairly open to the idea of prenups, and you should definitely insist on one before your child gets married. I also tell young people, please keep the family financial matters private until you get married, and look at your family constitution to see what are the family rules about sharing family financial information. Some people, for example, don't share all the family financial information until they've been married to that person for at least 10 years. Now that may seem like a lifetime when you're young, but there's good reason for that. If somebody's really willing to stick with you for 10 years, they probably love you and they're not just trying to defraud you financially. So in summary, if you would like to properly develop your next generation, you need to focus on their core development needs when they're young. Use the family office to help do all the planning for all the various ages, teach them how to value money, teach them how to control and manage money, and help them to navigate the relationships of friendships and marriage as they grow older. The more skillful you are at these things, the more you will help your next generation to grow up and make you proud and carry the family tradition on into the future.